Welcome to Rotten Damians. Today we'll be discussing the 6 most terrifying episodes of Smallville Season 4. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out parts 1 and 2 of this series. Starting at spot number 6, we have Season 4, Episode 8, Spell. Lana is studying in Paris, where she is doing research at a museum for a school paper. She touches a spell book written in the 1600s, causing her, Chloe, and Lois to be possessed by witches, who had previously been burned at the stake. This episode reminds me of Dario Argento's 1977 Suspiria. Suspiria follows a young girl named Susie, who travels to Germany for ballet school. She arrives at the school, where one of her classmates is murdered. After this murder, strange things begin happening at the school, and eventually, she discovers that the school is a witch's coven. Here we see 2 stories where a female protagonist attends a school, which ultimately leads to some witchy activity. In spot number 5, we have Season 4, Episode 7, Jinx. Chloe meets a guy named Mikhail, who is a bookie. He takes bets against the school's football team, but rigs the games by controlling the players' minds. This episode reminds me of David Cronenberg's 1981 Scanners. The movie follows a small group of people named Scanners, who possess the power of mind control. If they do not learn how to control their powers, it makes them murderous and dangerous. So the protagonist, who is named Daryl, is hired by an underground operation to protect the human race from scanners who cannot control their powers. Here we see 2 stories of mind control where it ultimately boils down to good versus evil. In spot number 4, we have Season 4, Episode 14, Krypto. In this episode, we follow a veterinary owner who injects the dogs with kryptonite. He then trains the dogs and uses their super strength to commit crimes like robbing stores and committing murder. I'm sure you can guess what movie this episode parallels. It is obviously Stephen King's Cujo. The book or movie follows a family-friendly dog named Cujo. Cujo wanders into a cave one day where a rabid bat bites him on the nose. The dog eventually turns rabid and commits a few murders in a small town. Here we see 2 stories about innocent dogs who are on some level forced to commit atrocious crimes. Thankfully, the Smallville episode ends on a much more positive note. In spot number 3, we have Season 4, Episode 17, Onyx. Lex is conducting an experiment with black kryptonite, which results in him being split into 2 different people, an innocent Lex and an evil Lex. The episode reminds me of Gus Triconis's 1979 The Darker Side of Terror. The movie follows Paul Crowan, who is a scientist at a research facility. He's denied a promotion and it is given to his co-worker instead. So, he clones himself and forces the clone to seduce the wife of the co-worker who received the promotion. Unknown to Paul, the clone is evil. Here we see 2 stories where a man is cloned and unknown to the original, the copy is evil. In spot number 2, we have Season 4, Episode 18, Spirit. This episode follows a typical mean girl named Dawn, who dies in a car accident, but thankfully, the car crashes into a ravine filled with kryptonite. This allows her spirit to leave her body and possess anyone she chooses. Considering that this episode deals with possession, I decided to parallel it to the most notorious demonic possession movie of all time, 1973's The Exorcist. The Exorcist follows an actress's daughter named Regan, who is possessed. 2 priests are put onto the case to free Regan from her possession. Here we see 2 stories of possession where the living fight a battle against the dead. Ultimately, both stories end with the host being set free. In spot number 1, we have Season 4, Episode 21, Forever. Brendan Nash, the school photographer, does not want to graduate from high school. So, he collects a few of his classmates and places them in a recreation of the high school, where they will relive the final day of high school forever. If they disobey him, he uses his power to turn them into wax. The key word here being wax. This episode reminds me of Andre de Toth's 1953 House of Wax, which follows Professor Henry Jarrett, a wax artist, after his business partner burns down his previous studio to claim insurance money. He loses his mind and goes on a murderous rampage. He creates a wax sculpture of all his victims and opens a new studio, showcasing his waxy victims. Here we see 2 stories of people who cannot let go of the past and who for some reason turn their victims into wax. And that's the entire list. I have to say, Smallville took a huge knock in quality this season, and I truly hope that they recapture the magic in season 5. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and for me to reach my goals. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for season 5.